Good evening and welcome to it. This is Chess and Wine. My name is AD Bila. Back with you with some interesting updates. The Budapest, Hungary FideHoD World Olympiads are starting tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We'll keep you updated with the links at the South African News Desk YouTube, South African News Desk WhatsApp group. Let me sneeze just quickly. All right. Yes, that's that. And another more interesting news on the political front. But before we go too far, let's look at the statement on Twitter, on X, by the Minister of Sports, Mr. Gayton McKenzie. He has made a promise to support chess. Imagine that. Like, imagine if that was to actually happen. So in his page on X, he wrote the following: "We will broaden and fully support chess players. Chess has always been treated like some stepchild, but it's about to take its rightful place in South Africa. Government and business should do better when it comes to promoting the game of chess. I accept our failure in fully supporting it." Yes, so obviously the Department of Sports has failed chess in the past for many reasons. Maybe sometimes it was because of the administrative issues within chess. Maybe sometimes it was because of a lack of compliance or whatsoever. But right now, with this statement from the current minister, we feel like the support of chess players. I mean, that's basically that one thing in its own. It's big enough, because I'm not sure. I don't think we would ever have players like Mr. Charlton not being able to go to the Olympiad. I hear someone saying that he's not going because of the exams. Come on. We know he's not the only one that is meant to be writing exams within the selected. Most of the team, in fact, they were juniors. They're all still in high school. Most of them of the under 20s. So yeah, we know there's more to that. But in any case, we hope that the support from the minister does come through and we'll start seeing changes very soon. Very soon. Like the allowance to the players right now, they are in the Olympiad. It's like the Olympics of chess. They are supposed to be getting some funding, some support, financial support, and any other forms of support. So yeah, that's that part. I'll just share some pictures with you of the players in Budapest, Hungary. Moving on, here's obviously, we all know that there was meant to be a team, and Chess South African team that was meant to be going to is it in Brazil for the World Youth team? Yes. So there was a person appointed to be the accompanying manager, and that was Mr. Tsediso Morekisi from the Northern Cape, the Secretary of the Northwest, in fact, yes, the Northwest Province. But apparently he just pulled out. He just withdrew his management role from Chess South Africa, from managing the youth team, and that's a very curious situation, because why would he pull out now, right? Obviously, he's citing some personal issues, and we understand personal responsibilities, personal issues. Come on, there must be more to it. Obviously, I tried to call him and find out what is going on. He didn't pick up. So I texted him and let him know that this is what I'm talking about. And he's like, "Oh no, that actually I withdrew. I sent a letter to the president withdrawing." I'm like, "But why?" It's like, "Personal reasons." So I tell him, "But I hear that there is somebody that pressured you to withdraw." Then he gets agitated. No, don't say anything like that. And then he picks up the phone, and now he calls me back, but he didn't pick up when I called him first. Eddie, no, I withdrew myself. I wrote a letter to the president saying that I cannot. And I'm like, yeah, but who pushed you? It's like, nobody pushed me. Don't you have said, hey, that's why I was adamant that I must not say anything about him being pushed out by anybody. So I'm like, okay, I'm dropping that story, because whoever told me that you were pushed or pressured to withdrawing, yeah, they must be wanting to speak about things that you don't want to speak about. But I know, this is Chess South Africa. The community is very small. The story is going to come out somehow, and we're going to get the details and let you know what the the story behind his withdrawal is, because we know that every one of those politicians always look forward to a chance to manage a team abroad, right? We all know that's the reason that most of them are there. So it doesn't make sense that anyone will just withdraw. There must have been some pressure. There must have been some things of saying, we cannot afford, we cannot pay for this and that, you're going to have to pay this, we cannot pay, because they're meant to be paying you as a team manager, right? We didn't know until recently that they actually pay team managers and they cover all the costs of the team managers. So maybe this time they just said, hey, Chess South Africa doesn't have money, we can't cover this and this and that. And then he pulled back. Maybe, right? Like there must be some reason, because that's like a free holiday for most of these administrators, we know. Yeah. All right. And now another very interesting turn of events is in the Olympiads, in the Budapest Olympiads. So we know, I remember I mentioned that the president of Chess South Africa, Mr. Andre Vows, is going to be going there to the FideHoD Congress to cast a vote, right? Yes, he's going to vote. So maybe that's what I kept saying, that who is funding? I kept asking who is funding him to go vote when we have players failing to go attend the tournament, obviously, as and represent the country. And now we find out that he cannot go as the head of delegation of Team Chess South Africa because of financial woes. Apparently, Chess South Africa does not have enough money and is looking to save money. And he decided to sell the role of the head of delegation to the highest bidder. Maybe you wouldn't want to say sell it, but obviously he gave it to someone who could afford the cost of it and saying we're saving money. So it's like he gave up so it was like up for the taking for anyone who had the money could go and represent Chess South Africa as the head of delegation, because the reason he cited as the reason behind him giving the role to Sean Leviton, a parent, the father of Caleb Leviton, who is also an Olympiad player, the 12, 13-year-old, the youngest, in fact, player that is representing Chess South Africa at the Olympiads. So he basically gave the role up to a parent maybe this parent has also an opportunity to go accompany his child, or who was going there anyway to accompany his child, and he just gave him, how about you take this role with you as well and be the head of delegation? A parent who is not even a member of the executive board and not even a member of the National Council handed over the role of head of delegation of Chess South Africa. Listen to this. Let's quickly look at the communication. So apparently this is a communication that came from Mr. Andre Vows to Chess South Africa. It says, the executive board appointed Sean Leviton as our head of delegation, HOD. There will be no cost for Chess South Africa. We cancelled my appointment as head of delegation to save costs for Chess South Africa. Imagine that. Cancelling such a big responsibility to save costs. Imagine the president of South Africa saying, I'm not going to the world summit, the summit of whatever states and things like that, a political role, but I know a business person that was already headed there. So I'm going to give him the role of representing South Africa. So South Africa is going to be represented by a business person with some business personal interest as the head of, as a representative of South Africa, and is not even elected to that role. So how accountable is that person that has not been elected, that has not been elected into such a role? I wonder. Like this raises some very serious questions. Like now, people are going to be looking to meet the representative of South Africa, Chess South Africa, the head of the delegation, and then the parent will just pop up. We're like, oh, so what's your role as the? Oh no, I am a leader of a club. Oh, and maybe a smaller region in South Africa. Oh, so you're not a member of the National Council? No, you're not a member of the executive board? No, you're just a parent that just happened to be on their way to Budapest, and you're asked to carry the role with you as you go there. Oh wow, my goodness! So here it goes. The Expo appointed Sean Leviton as our head of delegation. There will be no cost for Chess South Africa. We cancelled my appointment as HOD to save costs for Chess South Africa. I will only attend the FideHoD Congress from next week. Chess South Africa also secured a grandmaster to coach our team with the help of a private sponsor. Private sponsor? We will only contribute 10,000 rand. Woo! The private sponsors are the same private sponsors that are sponsoring the Chess South African president's travels. Like, hey, You see now, money talks. Because that private sponsor now, hey, who is that private sponsor? Could it be that it's also still the same one that has been given the role of being an HOD? Who's the private sponsor? Yeah. So yeah, again in the same communication, it said somewhere that ChessSA has also appointed Tsediso Morekisi as team manager for the World Youth Chess Championship. We wish him and the team well with the tour. But Tsediso Morekisi decided, nope, I cannot travel anymore, even though I applied and I got appointed and I got excited, and then something happened later on. I changed my mind. Personal issues. You cannot rely on me. I'm a man who changes his mind whenever he feels like it. I understand this must have been a very big role and you're counting on me to do best, but do best in what? Because Tsediso Morekisi is from a region that is almost dead in the Northwest. It's like is it Dr. Ruth or something that's never been heard of. His chess activities are very minimal and limited as a secretary of Northwest Chess. So maybe that's another reason. That's another thought that came to mind. I was like, but I mean, I'm not used to doing any chess responsibilities. I run a region that is that functions worse than some clubs in Chess South Africa. And then he's like, no. Maybe let's find some people that have been involved with some things like this, and let me step aside. The people that have accompanied players to regional events, provincial events, national events, and then now international events, right? Because they can't take you from never being an accompanying manager to a provincial event or even a national event, and then just throw you to the international one. No. So maybe that's another thing that Tsediso thought about. But anyway, so yeah. So now here's an interesting insight from a former president of Chess South Africa and former president of Southern African chess. That is the FIDE Zone 4.5 former president, Mr. Joe Mahomula, throwing in his 2-3 cents on the matter. Because I was asking, like, if Andre Lewax is busy flopping up and messing up, where are the Mr. Mahomulas and all the other seasoned politicians in chess and the chess and chess administrators in South Africa? Where are they to advise him and things like that? Because I also even start thinking, like, doesn't he live somewhere closer to Dr. Lyndon Bauer? Because if he fails dismally, we would also look to blame Dr. Lyndon Bauer. Because I think he must also be somehow held responsible. Because every now and then he must call Andre Lewax and be like, come here, come for lunch at my house. We will sit and share some wisdom with you, because we know he has it, right? And he was a former president of Chess South Africa some time ago, if I remember reading correctly, somewhere. Oh, and apparently he's launching a book today, Chess Poetry, Heritage and Literature, one of his volumes. So yes, Reflections on Chess in the Rainbow Nation. So basically, we're looking to people like that to guide our president and not leave him be, because it's like everybody's just leaving him. It's leaving him to make his own mistakes. His mistakes are going to cost us as well. Like, let's not do that. But I was happy to see that Mr. Mahomula is not doing that. He is nudging him to the right direction. We'll see if he listens. But this is what Mr. Mahomula had to say on the head of delegation matter. While I understand the cost issue, but I don't think it is prudent and correct to send someone who is not even part of Expo to be head of delegation. Head of delegation is supposed to meet with the local organizing committee of Olympiad, head of states, presidents of other federations to discuss matters on common interest and or of FIDE interest prior to the General Assembly. To appoint a parent to be head of delegation is to downgrade the role of HOD. This role should be played by the president of Chess South Africa or a member of the executive board. Wow. And then he adds on that and says, please don't confuse or conflate head of delegations and FIDE delegate. They are two different things. This is some serious matter. Like, if you look at the statements like that has been made by Ms. Mahomula, you'd understand the depth of this error by our executive board and in particular the president of Chess South Africa. My God. But anyway, and I always think about these things. Like when with this series big political positions, I think it is always important that if we have a person at the head of, whether it's a head of a club, a head of a region, a head of a province, or a head of a national federation like Chess South Africa, it always definitely needs to be someone that has some political connection. They don't necessarily have to be rich themselves, but they need to have political connections. They need to have business connections. They need to have influence. Because it needs to be someone that would have somebody to call to say, hey, Chess South Africa needs 100,000 rands right now. Can you be able to assist with 1, 2, 3? Sponsor, right? And we'll make it a thing of above board, of course, because then we'll say sponsored by. Political connections. You speak to someone in the Department of Sports and say, hey, this Chess South Africa has these issues. We need to have our team funded for this event. It's a big thing, and have them understand how big and how important the Olympiad are. The Chess Olympiads are. Even the attendance of the FIDE Olympiad event by the leader of the chess administrations in South Africa, and that is the political leader, the president. Because it is very crucial that he is there to represent the interests of Chess South Africa there internationally. And discuss some exchange programs, right? Like, and discuss some exchange in, I don't know whether it's some grandmasters and players and things like that will happen. Like, there's a whole lot of things that could be done. Build relationships with other, especially nearest neighboring federations and other businesses that may have interest. Like, there's a whole lot to do for a president there. But our president is not up to the task. And he's ready to, to hand it over to the next person who can afford. Now, honestly, no matter what perspective you choose to come with here, it doesn't make sense. They didn't tell me that he can't afford to take 14 days out of work because, that's the role that he took. He was supposed to be able to afford to take those many days, or at least see that, okay, the role of presidency is not for me. I must still continue working. I'm a working man. Because these are the demands of such roles. Because again, this is actually a warning to us, because if things continue like this, one day he might also resign and say, hey, personal issues. Because people take up roles, and then when the demands of the roles are facing them, up against them, they are confronted by the demands of the roles. They realize that, hey, I just wanted the position. I just wanted the title. I didn't know it would come with all of this. It comes with all of it and more. So yes, okay, moving on. Now back to the Olympiads. I think we're here trying to celebrate the players who are representing South Africa in the Olympiads. And there are one of many ways to represent, to actually do that, to celebrate them. We see that there's players representing different regions, but it was a very of quite some interest to see Bojana kind of making let me look at their poster. A poster that says they've got 4 or 5 players from 4 different regions representing them, from different countries representing them. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 different countries representing one federation within South Africa. That is the Withdrawal district, represented by Khuda Bayani from Botswana, represented by FM Joseph Moa, the GMV from Malawi, and then we have Davido Strong, South Africa, and we've got Lebajua Tebe representing Lesotho in the what do we call this in the Olympiads, and the One True FM Banele Mango, South African, representing Bojana. So all of these 5 players, in fact, are at the Olympiads right now, representing Bojana. Now we have a message from Dr. Jabu Mukwena, founder of the Moja Chess Club. Go back to it. Let's read the very inspiring message of support from Team South Africa from Dr. Jabu Mokoena Mlangeni. Dr. Jabu Mokoena is obviously the president of the Moja Chess Club and the organizer of the Moja Chess Extravaganza that is obviously playing very soon, I think from the 26th of September. And here is his message to Team South Africa. It reads as follows: to Team South Africa, as you set off to represent our country at the Chess Olympiad, know that the entire South African chess community is behind you. This is not only a moment of pride for all of us, but also a chance to showcase your skill, determination, and love for the game on a global stage. Play each game with passion, focus, and resilience, and know that whatever the outcome, you are already champions to us. We also look forward to you bringing back your experience and insights to further strengthen chess in South Africa, inspiring future generations of players. This is so true and so deep. Good luck and give it your all. And then he adds on top of that, it's inspiring to see our national team being dominated by such talented youngsters, a clear sign that we are moving in the right direction as a country. We salute those who support and nurture them, parents, coaches, and everyone behind the scenes. If we keep this momentum going, I have no doubt that within the next 10 years, we will see at least 10 grandmasters emerge from our country. And I say that with modesty because the potential within our chess community is boundless. That is Dr. Jabu Mokoena. And here's an interesting thing. He's not all talks, because he also has actions, because what he's doing with the Moja Chess Club, what he's doing with the Moja Chess Solutions, I believe, the development of chess arbiters, FIDE arbiters in the community, and obviously the providing of such opportunities for players to compete at such a high level within South Africa. He's supporting all of these statements that he just made here. And we know that because of his contribution and obviously the contributions of others, we can definitely have grandmasters within the next 10 years in South Africa, a number of them, as he puts it. And that is the message, the inspiring message from Dr. Jabu Mokoena. And in fact, I just wanted to read, to actually come out with something, but I'm going to just leave it here because the other stuff is just too depressing to share after reading this this beautiful message. So yes, good evening, good night.